Imagine being a billionaire with such an insistence that your favorite social media platform isn't respecting free speech enough that you actually spend $44 billion. Kind of, after you try to back out and then you realize the court is going to make you, but you still spend $44 billion to buy an entire platform, and you promise everyone that it will now be the world's town hall, that it will respect free speech above all because you are a free speech warrior, an absolutist, if you will. Then you decide to let the Nazis back on the platform. That ends up being a terrible look, so you end up making some actually defensible adjustments as you realize that despite how Republicans try to impress you by not really knowing anything, that hate speech actually does have a definition, and you realize you can't delete only the people and content that you have been commanded to delete by a government. So now you're left with a conundrum. What do you consider hate speech? What do you consider slurs? But more importantly, why does the you matter? Who should actually decide what qualifies as those things? And let me ask you at home or wherever you are, whichever toilet you're watching this on, let me ask you a question. Would a person who actually values free speech above all else believe that the limitations on free speech for a platform they have control of should be whatever their own personal sensitivities are? Here's a timer for you to answer correct. No, it's not a game show. No, but that is exactly the thing that Elon Musk has done, and I can prove it with 2 tweets. Here's tweet number 1. Nope, that's tweet number 2. Here's tweet number 1. Perfect production days. So we're starting with this rather long one where he comes to ridiculous conclusions on outdated studies. If you actually want to see the debunk of the longer tweet, just honestly go hit the replies. It's right at the top. But he ends this tweet with this little whine. BTW, I regard cisgender as a slur. Now, y'all know I usually prefer to do impressions. I enjoy that. It's a thing I enjoy in life in general. But I honestly can't do one of Elon Musk without putting a mouthful of peanut butter in my mouth. That sentence, if I would just stick to the agreed upon phrasing, we would have been fine. Without a mouthful of peanut butter. And now I have a face full of egg. I'm not even going to start over or edit or change. We're one taking this bitch. Anyway, that was already a stupid position. This one was already a stupid position. But one would reasonably assume that just because it makes his own perpetual scowl more scowly, and I don't know why I think this, but I also think that he probably gets mad and then his nipples itch. I don't know. It's just something I know about him without any proof. But one would reasonably assume that his personal problems with the word wouldn't become someone else's problems. Not after all the things he said about free speech. Well, enter this tweet. Repeated targeted harassment against any account will cause the harassing accounts to receive, at minimum, temporary suspension. So far, so good. Not a problem. The words cis or cisgender are considered slurs on this platform. That's right. Mr. Freedom of Speech, Mr. Town Hall decided his personal fucking sensitivities are reason enough to put his hands on the scales of a discussion in society where the stakes are a group of people fighting not just for respect, fighting not just for rights, but for survival. And undoubtedly, this video is going to attract people who just see me, a fat leftist with a beard that they think is just a sensitive whiner who was just waiting for some reason to virtue signal because I'm so triggered by Elon Musk. And buddy, you are barking up the wrong fucking tree. The only thing that triggers me about Elon Musk is this constant insistence that we people start dropping out more kids into this absolute shithole of a world. Now, despite disagreeing with, and sometimes very passionately, with a lot of what Elon has done and a lot of what he has said, I'm technically more invested in Elon Musk products than probably all of you. I happen to believe in Tesla, both their electric car vision for the future, and a big one for me is the self-driving development due to some medical stuff, to the point that I actually lease a Tesla, and the self-driving, it changed my life. It unlocked new things for me to be able to do. And they don't even talk about that kind of impact for people like me, and they should. They should talk about the impact it would have on people who are limited in how they can travel. I also happen to believe in SpaceX and Neuralink and OpenAI, which he isn't actually the founder of, but he provided the largest initial funding for. And I had even believed that Twitter had potential, which is why I kept my paid subscription even after he changed it. I had it before him, and now he put the scarlet blue check mark on me. Scarlet blue, I know, it sounds ridiculous, but hopefully you get the metaphor, and made it more expensive, but I kept it. So the point of this video is that I hope that my participation in a Twitter boycott, which is currently expanding, can have more of an impact by sharing it, even though that is going to cost me and my company more than most people. Because while we're here on this channel, you're watching me, Jimmy Snow, this YouTube has-been who realized the content he was making was participating honestly in a toxic culture, which was encouraging people to justify their hatred of individuals through the vehicle of criticizing their ideologies while actually motivated to see them taken down some pegs, even though that these aren't ginormous creators, but they have some impact, and so it seems justifiable. But in reality, it was all to make one feel better about their own life and comparing yourself to somebody else and how much greater a person you are than them. Yeah, that's the old way, but this channel, it actually isn't my bread and butter anymore. My popularity actually ebbs and flows because I constantly annoy my own side with how I won't just commit bad people to irredeemability, and I encourage my audience to even be friends with bigots. So I'm not the guy you're still going to try to dismiss me as in the comments, half of which because you won't even watch the video, and most of you will still make that same stupid joke that is being made thousands of times a minute across the internet. This isn't an airport. No need to announce your departure. Oh my God, all of you are so damn clever to hear a funny quip and then repeat it ad nauseum without taking a second to make sure it's not already been said 100 times in the same thread you're fucking saying it. But no, sorry, I didn't realize I had such a problem with that whole thing. But no, my focus lately has been on my other channel, The Line, a collaborative effort that facilitates conversations between people on, let's call it our side, that is to say atheist, skeptic, humanist, and people who disagree with us. It's the literal opposite of an echo chamber. If you think I'm wrong about nearly anything, you have several times a month that you can call in and tell me why. Now, of course, the people in the comment sections are rarely actually brave enough to do that. They're only brave behind their cartoon avatars and their generic usernames, which are this sort of generic first name followed by random numbers. I think I said the word generic a few sentences back. Let's just move on. Yeah, have you seen these first name numbers? Oh no, we lost the respect of John 287664. What'll I do? But right now, in Twitter's system is a pending application for my account to become monetized. It won't be now because I'm leaving, but the app was in there to become monetized because we were going to expand the line to play live on Twitter, where I actually think we would have had a much easier time finding opposing positions to call in. So this decision is not made lightly. It will mean our company, The Line, and Twitter will likely be leaving a lot of money on the table. And by a lot, I mean 6 figures a year. A lot for our company. That's not much more than a fart for Elon Musk. The conversation on trans people and their rights is too important for a single person's stupid issues with trans people to so heavily take a side and then take the power away from millions of people. I would legitimately not care if Elon Musk was expressing these things as long as he then didn't have the power to control Twitter. If somebody else was in charge and we had reason to believe he was keeping his fingers off the scales. But even beyond all of that, to the core issue, cisgender is not a slur. It is used in scientific, medical, and legal texts, and not to mention discussions, every goddamn day. The people pretending it's a slur don't even really believe it is. The thing that they want is to use the word normal instead of cis. This is an already tried form of bigotry that implies the out-group is abnormal. There's a reason we don't say, are you gay or are you normal? There's a reason we don't say, are you white or normal? And I went with that example on purpose because remember, despite what the US seems to think, being white is a mutation not had by most of the world. you abnormal freaks. But these are the people who claim everyone else is such a snowflake, but then melt down if you call them like a honky, or now a goddamn Latin medical term. They called you cis, and what did you do? You decided to be a sissy. And watch how these people insist they shouldn't have to care about what you believe in, and there should be no limits on what they express about those beliefs or how they express them. But you make one little joke about how Jesus once got you off by lubing up his hand holes, and suddenly they suddenly think that speech should be able to send you to prison. By the way, when I met Jesus for the second coming, I didn't realize he wanted it to be with me, second coming on his beard. Don't worry, I'm sure those free speech warriors will celebrate what I just said. They'll have no problem with me saying that. Trans people exist. Supporting them is the humanitarian and scientific position. And Twitter, with all of its faults before, is now playing systemic interference to the end of trans people's well-being. But cue the stupid comments of dipshits pretending that this is all about protecting kids while ignoring the epidemic that is gun deaths for children or child poverty. So much so the case that the only reason we might get to the end of this episode without a school shooting is it's summer vacation right now. And even then, let's check the news. Let's check our news app. Oh, 5 since we started. The term is necessary. As society is having these conversations, there are times when it's appropriate to refer to groups categorically. Just like the need for a term like straight, these differences are important, and it is the conversation. But these bigoted assholes would like to force you to dehumanize trans people by trying to isolate their term so it seems more like an affliction. So yeah, I'm out. And I think a lot of people are going to be bailing too. If you're watching this and you get it, honestly, while I don't actually expect it, as the aforementioned has been that I don't expect to have that much of an impact on any individual. But if you joined in, that'd be cool as fuck. If you encourage creators and people that you support to join in, it's not even my boycott. It's just nobody has said like, hey, we're all doing this, right? Just a lot of individuals doing it. If you don't do it, I don't hate you. Mostly because I don't know you and it would be absurd to hate you, but I don't hate you. And you may think that abandoning the platform is what the fascists want. This is the thing that I've heard the most. I promise you it isn't. Even if they tell you it's what they want. I assure you, they don't actually want to be there without the people who piss them off. And if you don't believe me, I've got 2 weak-ass words for you. Truth social. So, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to show you all. There's no real particular reason why we have to do this, but this is my phone. I pointed the wrong direction. Still a problem. This is my real phone. This is my Twitter account. I'm swiping for you. And I'm going to show you how it's done. On the off chance that you do want to, you just hit your little bubble up at the top, go to settings and privacy, and then we're going to hit your account, deactivate your account. And then here, I'm going to make a reactivation period. I think this has something to do with how long it will reserve the username for you or something like that. 12 months, going to go to the bottom and hit deactivate. Confirm your password. Hopefully this does not require, okay, good. You don't actually have to see anything. Excellent, except that now you know I use LastPass, I suppose. And we'll hit deactivate. Yes, deactivate. Your account is deactivated. Sorry to see you go. #goodbye. Using hashtags that nobody can see. And now, for step 2, I will do the right thing. We are going to remove the app from my phone. Feels good. That's it for me. I'm Jimmy Snow. This has been a show I guess I do. Thank you for watching, and if I don't see you on Twitter, it'll be too soon.